worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity. Welcome everybody to Car Shopping Questions and Answers, episode 13. I am your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. Today is our Thursday, 12 p.m. live stream, and we're live on 4 platforms. For those of you who don't know me, I'd like to ask you, if this is your first time on a stream with us, could you type the number 1? Can you type the number 1 if this is your first time on a stream with us? And to those who've come back, if you've been with us before, could you type the word welcome to all the people who have been with us before? Welcome, and welcome back to those who've been with us. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Deshone. I'm publicly known as Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business, 5 with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors. Now, since the pandemic, I've devoted my time to showing everyone willing to listen how to get below market car deals, purchases, leases, new cars, used cars. And we do that by getting bids. We stop negotiating and we get bids. And that's how we get below market deals that other people are not getting. So I'm the author of Cars from Home, the new digital book, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Boom. That's the cover. And we're rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. You can get yours for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. You'll see when you visit my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio or the link in the comment section that we have for you on YouTube and Facebook that there's a timer. The book is normally $97, but you can get your copy for $24 as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So I would suggest you get it and come back and join the broadcast. So my man Dolan is moderating in the background. You guys can start typing your questions and we will start to answer them one by one. We'll be on for about an hour and we'll try to get through as many questions as we can in that time. All right, Dolan, once you have the first one, feel free to throw it up. That's what's doing. Okay, and shout out to y'all on TikTok. Could y'all tap the screen if you're going to spend a little time with us? Run those likes up like y'all always do. I appreciate you. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you could hit the like button, it means a lot. It tells the algorithm we're talking big money over here, and they'll send more people who need this. This one's from Instagram. When buying used, is it wise to buy from a small lot? I'll take any, listen, as long as you've screened it down. When you screen down your used cars, first of all, when we're shopping for used cars, you want to be on every marketplace. You want to be on every marketplace that has used cars. I always compare this to like buying a TV. If you were buying a TV, you're not going to just go to Amazon. You're going to go to Walmart.com. You're going to go to Best Buy. So we want to be everywhere there's a car. And now, once you do that, and those sites we use, this is called my multiple marketplace strategy. We use Carfax.com, CarMax.com, Carvana. Don't get any ideas, because even if they're overpriced 90% of the time, they still may be the best deal 10% of the time. Most times CarMax is overpriced. Most times Carvana is overpriced, but that's not all the time. I always say Best Buy is usually overpriced for electronics, but every now and then they have the best price. So if you're not looking at them, you miss opportunities. So we use CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, Carfax.com, Cars.com, Auto Trader, Car Gurus, and eBay Motors. We're looking at all of those marketplaces, and then we're going to narrow it down. So once we narrow it down, first thing we're narrowing it down on is title history. We don't want frame damaged cars, salvage title cars, flooded cars. Title has to be right. Based on Carfax, you can use auto check, but the only reason I don't like using auto check is because we need the service records. And service records is what's the important part when you're narrowing down. You need service record that shows on Carfax. And the last thing we let narrow it down based on is accident history. Some people do no accidents. Some people say, listen, there's different accidents on the Carfax. Let's talk about that for a quick second. You'll see minor accident. You'll see accident, vehicle was drivable. Good sign. That means it could have been a fender bender. They drove away. Then you might see vehicle towed. Red flag for me. You might see airbags deployed. Red flag. So whenever you see vehicle towed, just know that was a serious accident enough to where the vehicle couldn't drive away from. So that's what we narrow it down to. Now, when I'm narrowing this down, I'm not looking at who has the car yet. It could be a small lot. It could be a major franchise. Doesn't matter. Okay. If y'all gonna spend some time with us on TikTok, can y'all tap the screen every couple minutes and keep running those likes up? Appreciate y'all. Shout out to the new people. And if this is your first time on a broadcast, type the number 1. Type the number 1. Yeah, we live, Skinner. All right. If you don't see the banner above me, that means we're live. Whenever you guys see the banner, that means you're watching one of the replays, because we replay and rebroadcast these shows all day long so that everybody can see them. When you can't finish them, you're at work, you want to tell your friends, family about them, they can catch them pretty much any time of the day on all our platforms. But whenever you don't see the banner, which tells you when we're live, then we are live. All right. So that's that. Shout out to the first time people. But that's how we're going to narrow it down. I'm less concerned about where the car is. If it goes through that process, it has great title history, great service records, great accident history, I'm open to it. Okay. Now, another one from Instagram. All right, Instagram with the questions. Today, when buying used, is it wise to buy? Oh, that's the same question. How do you get the original window sticker? We'll get it through the Carfax. We'll get it through MaroneyLabels.com if we're going to pay for it. I think there's a site called Get Clutch. I have a link. I have a link in my book, because every manufacturer doesn't do it. So every manufacturer doesn't do it. Some have agreements with Carfax and they put the window sticker on the Carfax. Some of them you got to buy it separately. But if I'm narrowing it down to 5 cars, see, we got to start looking at car buying like house buying. We really do, because for some reason people are very comfortable protecting themselves. And explain this to me. Why is it people are very comfortable protecting themselves when it comes to cars? I mean houses, but not cars. So if we'll get a $600 home inspection to tell us if we should buy the home or not. You get what I'm saying? There are things we pay when we're about to spend $2 or $3 or $4 or $500,000 on a home. But when it comes to these small things that help us guarantee the best car deal and below market car deals, we want to do everything for free. So that's up to you. A lot of it can be done for free, but if I can't get a window sticker and I got to pay $5 for it, once I narrow it down to my top 4 choices, I pay the $20 to get the original window stickers. I'm getting it. I don't care how you get it. I got a couple resources in my book on how to get it, how to get free Carfaxes, but literally I'm getting the window sticker because I'm not buying a used car without seeing the original window sticker, because you don't know what you're saving. You do not know what you're saving. And anybody who's buying a used car without knowing what the original price was, it's impossible to know how good of a deal you really got. So, all right, go ahead, Dolan. This one's from TikTok. How do you sell a lease car without the title? The same way I explained it. You don't need a title to sell any car. Who was taught you needed a title to sell a car? Type me in the comments, because this is a big one. There are people who not even leasing. There are people who have cars right now. You have a loan on it. And I used to get people who would walk in the dealership and they look at the new model, the most recent one, and they'd be like, Deshone, is that the whatever, 2019, 2020? I'm like, yeah, these just came out. Okay, I got 3 payments left. As soon as I make my last payment, I'm coming to get that one. I'm going to talk to you about that one. What's the reason? Why are you waiting? Other than you thought you had to have the title in your hand. It's not the way it works. You go, you sell the car, there's, you write up a purchase order, whatever the bank is that you owe, the person pays off the bank, and then the title, once the bank is paid for, the title goes to the person who bought the car with the new ownership documents. So, sometimes I forget there's little small nuances that, but in the book, and even we talk about this on the show, you guys never hear me when we talk about an equity assessment. When we do an equity assessment, which is maximizing our car's value by getting bids, we don't trade. You never hear me say, those of you who don't have your title, you can't do the equity assessment, right? So I'm just assuming that if you just follow these steps, you'll see, even if you thought you couldn't sell your car while you still had a loan on it, you'll see, well, he didn't mention I need the title, so I guess I can go ahead and sell it. Yes, you can. So, you do at least the same way. I owe 15 on my car. Buyer offers me 19, pays the 19, pays off the 15 directly, sends 15 to the bank. And example, let me give you a real life example instead of a story. When I went in, after I sold my Jeep, that was back when the pre-owned car market was very hot, once in a lifetime market. And I went in and I owed my payoff was whatever my payoff was. I went in. They made the highest offer. That's why I was there. I got all these bids. CarMax made me the highest offer at the time. I went in. They paid $20-something thousand or whatever my payoff was, and they gave me a check for $8,900. So it's the net amount. So whatever the offer is, the amount you owe the bank gets paid off, and the surplus gets paid to you. That's the equity assessment. And for those of you who don't owe any money on your car, all the money goes to you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where we picked that up at. I don't even know where the origination of that one, quite honestly. How I do know where some things originate, but I don't know how we got to we had to have the title in our hand before we could sell our car. So yeah, let me you don't need it. Go ahead, Dolan. And for those of you who are not familiar with the equity assessment process, I'm sure we're going to talk about it on this show because it becomes a pretty common question. So we'll get to that, I'm sure. Go ahead. Jay, what's up? This is from YouTube. How do I go about getting pre-approval with good credit? I know the car I want. Then we don't really get pre-approvals. And I'm going to tell you why. Pre-approvals, first of all, there's something called restricted pre-approvals that we want to stay away from. See, all of this became, look, every time the public does something, the car business responds to it. And they usually respond with stuff that's garbage because they're trying to capture you and take away your ability to shop. So what ends up happening is the buzzword for the last 3 years probably has been pre-approved, get pre-approved, right? Right? That's been pretty much a hot topic. So the banks just decide what we're going to do is start marketing that we'll pre-approve you. But there's 2 ways they're pre-approving you, and they're both trash. One is we'll pre-approve you to shop with our dealer group. It's Capital One, our dealer network, Drive Time, Carvana. You're pre-approved, but you can only shop here. Well, you're going to hurt yourself because what they're trying to sell you on is this variety. And understand something. Variety doesn't drive down prices. Now we're getting ready to get deep. Hopefully y'all can follow this. It's early. Hopefully you have some coffee and your mind is clear. This is serious financial conversation, but it's simple. If you walk into the Doritos factory and all they have is Doritos, there's no incentive for them to not make them all $7 a bag because it's all Doritos. You got a bunch of variety. You could have 100 flavors. You're in the Dorito factory, but you're not going to get great prices because there's no competition. So whenever you see Carvana says we have 50,000 cars to choose from, variety. Whenever you see, you can shop from our dealer network of, X number of dealers. Any one of those dealers you can shop from, variety. That does not drive down prices. That's meant to control you. Think about the Dorito factory. You're walking around CarMax, oh, you got lots of cars here, but you're still in the Dorito factory. They're all one company that's setting the price. What drives down the price is competition. Competition is what drives down the price. So when these I have a whole section in my book on this, restricted pre-approvals. We stay away from them because they're meant to funnel you into somewhere so that you can actually do business with this person instead of doing what we do, which is shopping wide. If you're shopping for a used car, you should not be limited to anybody. You just heard the first question on the show talking about will we buy a used car from a small lot. We buy a used car from whoever within 100, 150 miles of us has the absolute best value, best price, on that used car, highest discount from the original new price. That means you're not going to limit me and tell me where I can buy it. So if pre-approvals were designed to do that, then we'd be good. If pre-approvals were designed to let you go shop anywhere, then they'd be good. That's the first bad part about pre-approvals is the restricted pre-approvals. And again, I'm going to tell you why we don't do it, and I'm going to tell you what we do. So the second thing that's bad about these pre-approvals that's being marketed is they want to do a hard pull on your credit. So now we use a strategy that I created called the bank bidding war. The bank bidding, everything we do is a bid because you're not going to save the most money possible unless you're getting bids. Okay? So if you want to guarantee that you paid the lowest price on any item, it's always through a bid. It's always through multiple offers. And the opposite is true. You want to have buyer's remorse? You want to always wonder if you could have paid less? Don't get a bid. Don't get multiple offers. So when they're asking for a hard pull, what we're doing is we're avoiding that because this is the way the bank bidding war works. You are allowed, I am allowed by the credit bureaus to have multiple people run our credit with a hard pull as long as it's within a certain time period. And the way we do it, it only takes us 2 days. They give you 14 to 45 days, but this only takes 2 days the way we do it. So a hard pull on your credit will drop your credit score X number of points. Let's just say 10 points. Now, if you do the bank bidding war correctly, you could have 20 hard credit pulls on your credit and it drops your credit score the same 10 points because this is called rate shopping, not car shopping. And many people get this wrong. Many people get this wrong because you got to come out of you cannot open up the rate window first by letting anyone access your credit with a hard pull. First of all, again, we don't want to rush when we shop. We don't want to rush when we shop. So if somebody gives you a pre-approval and they say, okay, you literally, now you did a hard credit pull, now go find your car, and then you only have 30 days before that pre-approval expires, what's going to happen? If you know the bank only gave you 30 days, now what are you trying to do? You're rushing yourself, right? You trying to find a car, day 28, you starting to feel a little desperate, right? That's not what we want. That's what the banks want. That's what the dealers want. That's not what we want. So now that's why we do not let anyone access our credit with a hard pull until after we find our car. So once we find the dealer that wins the bid, and if some of you are new to the show, you're like, Deshone, what's all this stuff you're talking about bids? It's called saving money. Okay, come into our world. Okay, step out of the world that you've been in, which is negotiating to try to get money off with cars when you don't do that with any other item. No other item do you go in and say, yo, take all this money. You don't do that on Amazon. You don't do that with TVs. You don't do that at the grocery store. None of that. So you shop for cars the way you shop for nothing else. And that's what the people who are listening to me who are like, Deshone, I want to save all the money. You locked in. So if you that person, type locked in. If you're that person, if you like Deshone, forget everything else. I want to learn a new way. I'm done with this old way. Type locked in. So this is what you're doing. You are going to go get bids. get your offers on your new car or your used car or whatever you're shopping for. Once you find the one that is the best, now you're going to get the paperwork, a buyer's order, come home, and you're going to let these banks, credit unions, online lenders access your credit with a hard pull. And many of them need you to have a car before they'll even give you a loan term. Sometimes you'll reach out and you'll say, hey, I'm looking to try to get, pre-approval, see what your terms are, see what your rates are. They'll say, okay, well, what car do you have? And you're like, well, I don't have a car yet. That's why I'm calling you first. So we call them, we reach out to them when we have a car, and we're like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I mean, this is what I have. I have it reserved. I left a deposit on it. I told the dealer I'm coming home to take care of my financing. I call them in 24 hours. Here's what I got. 2020 Mazda CX-5, 26,000 miles on it. Boom. What else do you need to know to give me a loan offer? So I'm doing this with 5 people from home. Then once that's done, I'm calling a dealer and saying, look, all right, this is the best offer I got. If you guys can beat it, you got the business. See, it's easy. If you're listening to me, you never got to lie. All of this stuff that people are teaching you, lying, hold back, we don't do that. Dealers enjoy the 20% of dealers that are the great dealers that have the best prices. They love doing business with us because they're competing to beat all their competition. We find them, and then we give them an opportunity to win our business. We don't say, oh, no, I'm not letting a dealer run my credit. That's bad strategy. Dealer has 7 to 10 banks that they give millions of dollars in loans to a month. Why would you not want a dealer to be seeing if they could beat your rate? The only problem is if you don't have a rate and you're letting the dealer be your first option, that's a problem. We don't do that. But that's the bank bidding war. So I haven't added it to my book yet, but when you get my book, you actually get the book, and I send you the bank bidding war blueprint. And for all of you who got the book, if you happen to have gotten my book before I came out with the bank bidding war, send us an email and we'll send you the bank bidding war, because I plan to add it to my book. I update the book. That's why I told you I made it a digital book, because I come up with new stuff, new websites come out, websites go out of business. I'm always updating the book. So with a digital book, I'm not charging you every time I update it. I just update the book and everyone gets it. So if you happen to have the book and you don't have the bank bidding war, definitely connect with us by email and we'll get you the bank bidding war, because I just released it within the last couple weeks. But yeah, that's the bank bidding war. And that's how you leave never asking. You should never be asking, what's a good rate right now? How much is too high of an interest rate? These are all questions you ask because you don't get bids. You don't know how to get bids. Once you start getting bids, you never ask these questions again. You'll leave knowing, man, I had like 15, 20 people competing for my rate. I know I got the best rate. That's the name of the game. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question up. We are live, y'all. This is our Thursday, 12 p.m. show. You're not watching the rebroadcast unless you see the banner up top, then you're watching it. But we're live right now. Okay, Donna from Instagram. How do you ensure the car seller makes a decent wage and gets a deal at the same time? God bless you. They make a decent wage if they win the bid and they sell you a car. It's too intricate for you to try to understand. No one's losing money here. This isn't a charity case. And so let me tell you something about me. I set up a system where people buy cars in 60 to 90 minutes. So I know a lot of you think that I'm all for the public, which I am, but I'm also for the 20% car dealers. So I had to set up a system where both people win. The 20%. 80% can't survive in the world we're going to create. 80% can't win because they're not going to compete. They're going to give you high prices. All good. That's great. But the 20%, what we didn't like is spending so much time with people who don't even know a deal, don't know, like you're questioning every single thing because you don't have enough information. That's why. So you're nervous, you're defensive, hard to help you. I'll be sitting down with somebody, I'm sitting down with a customer and I'm making them an offer with a deal, and my manager is hoping they don't take it just because he doesn't want to sell the car for that cheap. But we're making them that offer, they're still questioning it because they don't have bids. So this created, this created nightmare situations for good car salespeople and horrible experiences for you. So with my system, you're online. The only time you're in a dealer is for 20 minutes to test drive the car. So when a person sells a car, if they're going to make a flat commission because they had to give away, there's something called a flat commission where you didn't make a lot of profit. I'd rather make it in 20 minutes. So the car salespeople who win our business love us. They love, all of these people that you see, and you guys know, I will share these people. I share everybody. Look, Tiffany, who used the book, she got $6,000 off of her Mazda just a couple days ago. That is, she didn't spend more than 20 minutes with the salesperson. I don't even know if that's the person she test drove the car with. It might not be. So this person who won her business literally is going to spend maybe 30 minutes with her total. So what? He's not making a huge commission. If he ends up making $150 flat, he'd rather, and I've asked car salespeople this over my years of educating the public on how to shop from home. I said, let me ask you a question. Would you rather, y'all being stingy with the likes on TikTok? Can we tap the screen if y'all spending time with us? Thank you. Can we tap the screen? Can we share? We ain't asking for money. We asking for just tap the screen if you're enjoying the show. All right. Don't ever listen. I'll be getting them. Thank y'all. Appreciate you running it up. So when you see that, I appreciate you wanting dealers to make money. But the best thing you could do if you really want good dealers to be okay is learn how to shop from home correctly so you can stop wasting people's time. So you can stop being with people for 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours that you don't buy a car from. That's really what I want you to do, because when you learn how to get cars in 60 minutes from home, car salespeople are gonna love you. Because even if I didn't make a huge commission of $1,000 or $800 or $1,500 on this particular deal, that's okay. And $1,500 commissions are very rare. You had to make a lot of profit on the deal, 10 grand profit probably. Bring home 20%. Now you got to make probably 7 grand to 10 grand, profit, and people will make it. There are people who overpay. And so there's people who pay average prices and above average prices, but we don't pay either. So it's the time. I don't care if I make $150 with you if I only spent 30 minutes with you. And the only way you're doing that is shopping online. You're not doing that. I've tried. I think I was pretty quick. There were some people quicker than me, but I certainly tried to go into, and a customer knows what they want. Come on, man, Mr. Jones. I know what you want. We'll get this done very quickly. Hour and a half tops, 2 hours really tops, because you got the finance office. You got all this stuff that has to happen. We got to clean the car. So 2 hours is really, if on a quick deal. Most of them, 3, 4. How many hours you guys spend picking up your cars? Be honest. How many hours did you put into your last car purchase at the dealership? Throw some numbers out. Look, Lexi, baby, 4. Look, throw some numbers out. Okay, people don't what? We don't want to be honest. How many hours? Sometimes maybe I'll ask how many days did you put into your last car deal? Have me in there about an hour. That's quick. You must have did a lot before. Half the day, Thomas. That's more like it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone willing to share. And I had to come back the next day still. Thank you. Okay? So yes, I talk a lot about money. Look, 6 hours. Poobie Bear on Instagram. 6 hours. 4 hours. So no one that you're seeing here, I'll run down the list. Boom. Not only are these people saving all the money. Look, $690 a month on Toast BMW. Greg, $527 a month, his $56,000 Kia truck. Look, Danielle, $550 a month for her Audi. Not only are they saving all the money, they're not in the dealer more than 30 minutes. That's why the dealers love them. That's why the dealers love us. I'm never going to create a system that's painful for car dealers. I would be hypocritical to do that. I created a system where when you use it, the people you do business with love you because you're like, man, listen, this is one of the quickest deals. Some of you saw when I got my Infinity truck. I wish I could find that video. Matter of fact, hold on. Before we go to the next question, because I don't want anyone, because some of y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know, okay, is this guy telling the truth? We really getting cars? This was me picking up my Infinity truck right here. This is when I got the Infinity truck. Hold on, I'm gonna find a video. I'm going into my hold on, where we at? Day five. Here we go. Look, let me share my screen. And I picked it up and I posted this on Instagram because I want people to know we really do this. We don't say we do this. We really do this. Look. Now, there we go. All right, skip that. Oh, here we go. Boom. Do we understand? I know y'all can't see it on TikTok. You got to watch the rebroadcast because we're live on TikTok. We stream live from the device. Do you understand? This is not a game. This is not a game. If you when you learn that you've been conditioned to think that somehow spending time on my car deal means I saved all the money. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Looking at multiple options, multiple offers while you sit at home, knowing how to screen those offers down so that you know you got the below market prices. Looking at 5 offers on new cars and leases minimum, 5 offers minimum because 80% of dealers are overpriced. This is what guarantees below market prices. You don't need to be in a dealer to get that. In fact, there's no way for you to get it in a dealer. I will be so bold to make the statement, and I'll just ask you, if you think you can get it, when you get your car, bet me $500 that I can't get a better price than you. That's what I'm saying. Bet me $500 when you get your car, any car you get, if you don't use what I'm teaching you, if you tell Deshone, all that stuff sounds good, getting bid, but I want to do it my way. Bet me $500 that I can't find a much, much better deal than you as soon as you get your car. I'm willing to put the money up because I know bids is what gets us these prices you guys see on the shows. Bids is what allows people to come in and save money. Okay? Did y'all see that? Could y'all hear that? Let me know, could y'all hear that when I was playing that? Were y'all able to hear that when I was playing it? Before I move on to the next question, before I have Dolan pulling the... Why didn't y'all say something? See, we got too many people on here. We got too many people on here, y'all, for y'all to let me play an entire 1-minute video and not say you couldn't hear it. All right. Yeah, I don't know what to do. All right, listen. It is what it is. What I asked, he said 45 minutes. I said, take the test drive out of it. Take me and Monique test driving out of it. How much time did we spend? He said 20, 25 minutes top. Come on, lock in, y'all. Lock in. Go ahead, Dolan. Throw the next question up. Instagram. How do you tell the dealership you want to take the car to the mechanic before purchasing? You don't. Dealership's not going to let you take the car to a mechanic before purchasing. It's too much liability. If you crash the car, if it has an accident, mechanic messes up the car, only thing you could do is have a company like yourmechanic.com come and meet you at the dealer. That's why whenever I'm buying a used car, I'm not taking it the same day. DJ Flay, I thought it was a silent film. This is hilarious. So yeah, we never take a used car the same day because one, we got to do it even if we're paying cash though. I mean, even if we're paying cash. But if you're doing the bank bidding war, we can't take a car the same day because we need to go home and we need to start the bank bidding war. But if you're paying cash and the car has a good warranty and you've done the math, okay, maybe you don't need to have a mechanic inspected. But if you want to have a mechanic inspected, then it's always I'm leaving a deposit, and then I'll have either my mechanic come. And again, this goes back to you're paying to protect yourself. I got a mechanic here that I've been using for years, me and my family. If I told him, hey, look, I'm gonna pay you, let me know when you got an hour and a half. I'm gonna pay you for the time. Come take a look at this car with me. I got a reserve. He'll be like, no problem. I'll throw him $125. He'll come, check it out for me, tell me if I'm good or not. He can't put it on a lift, so that's the bad thing. But again, it's better than me just thinking with my non-mechanic self, I guess the car looks good. Sounds good, I think. No, these are the things that we got to do if we want to protect ourselves. And understand, there's horror stories for a reason, y'all. Horror stories are very common. Cars breaking down. It's weird. All I can do is give you boundaries. And when I give you the boundaries, then you can choose what you want to do with them. You can choose if you want to, adhere to them. You can choose if you want to ignore them, but at least they're there. So yeah, I would always have, with no warranty on a car, I would always have my mechanic come out. And if you don't have a mechanic, then I pay a company like yourmechanic.com. I think they charge $100, $150 to come out, send one of their mechanics to inspect the car for you. I see it just like a home inspection. I don't see it any different. Any different. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay, I had a financial advisor tell me get rid of my car. I did. I had this one's from Instagram. I had a financial advisor tell me to get rid of my car. I did, however. I really need another one, but they repoed the vehicle. It's been around January. Okay, I'm trying to understand. So he told you get rid of your car, but you need another one. Get a very inexpensive car. It sounds like you're in a position where you need to get the least expensive car you possibly can. I call that a smart car, saving money at the right time. Cars that are, under 10 grand. If you're trying to get a loan on it, that's what you would be trying to get. But if they repo the vehicle, you're going to have a tough time getting I would get it. If I got my vehicle repoed, my next car is a small car. I'm looking for something that the smallest car I could get a loan on, 25 grand brand new, 30 grand brand new, because that means if I get it for about 10 grand, I still should be able to get a 6-year-old one, something not too old, 7. See, the problem is when you say, oh, I want the SUV and I want the 3 rows and, I want the leather and all of that. And now, okay, in order to get a car about 10 grand, you're going to get a 2009 or you're going to get a 2011 with 110,000 miles on it. See, we got to learn how to sacrifice in certain cases. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to anyone else who may be watching this, who may be in a situation where you're in a rebuild. It's called a rebuild for a reason. We're not looking to stunt in a rebuild. We're not looking to flex on them in a rebuild. We're looking to say, look, I got to get from point A to point B. What I need is 2 things, a quality car, and I need to not miss any payments if I'm going to get a loan on this. So when you go out and you get, I got my credits of 500, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get a $20,000 car that they're gonna charge. I'm gonna pay 20+% interest on it, so my payment's gonna probably be 600. Now I'm paying 600, and the $20,000 car may not even be a quality car. May got 80,000, 90,000 miles on it. So now stuff starts breaking. I got my $600 payment, and now the car's in the shop, but I still owe my 600. Okay. Here comes another repo. So this is disaster. I've seen this. This is a formula. I call this the repo recipe. So if you're in a rebuild, the name of the game is seeing, first of all, am I a long-term person, 8+ years, or am I a short-term person? less than 8 years. Because if you're a short-term person, your goal is to lease. You may not know it yet, but some of the people who've been on this show, you understand the depreciation curve. This is where you lose all the money right here. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're losing all the money. Once you get to about year 7, 8, it starts to level out. Your vehicle is not losing that much value anymore. That's when you want to own it. That's when you've won. That's not when you want to replace it. You don't want to say, hey, this is people. Oh, Deshone, I got 6 years of payments. Oh, I just paid the car off. Right when it was going to start leveling out depreciation wise. Oh, I'm going to get rid of it now. Lost all that money in depreciation. Now I'm going to get rid of it. So you need to know, if you're not an 8-year, 9-year, 10-year person, then you shouldn't be buying cars. You should be shopping for great lease deals. But you may not qualify for a lease right now. So your mission should be to qualify for a lease in the future, which means I'm going to drive a car that's not my ideal car. I'm going to drive a car I may not even like, but it's going to be reliable and it's going to be affordable. Reliable and affordable. And I'm going to drive that for 2 years, make every payment on time, and then I'm going to switch into another car, brand new lease. Or if I'm purchasing, because I'm a long-term person, I'll switch and I'll if you're purchasing, if you're a long-term person, you could get a car now and pay a higher interest rate and refinance later. That's why you need to know who you are. But if you're a long-term person, 8+ year person, you could get a great car, reliable, and then refinance the loan. But you got to know who you are, because I see tons of people all around this country in here who are not in a position where their credit is good, but you have not come up with a goal and understood leasing. So what you're going to end up doing is financing a very expensive car, 20, 30 grand, and you're going to end up with a lot of negative equity. And every time you go to change your cars every 3, 4, 5 years, you're wondering why you have all this negative baggage and why your payments keep getting higher, your cars keep getting lower in quality. And that there's a reason for that. That's the reason. I just explained to you the reason. It's like a snowball that you're rolling that's against you, versus what I'm telling you to do is to have a plan so that you know, all right, I can't qualify for a lease right now, but in 2 years I will. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna do anything right now that's gonna mess up my chances of getting a lease in 2 years. And if I'm not a lease person and I'm keeping this car 8 years, then I gotta get a great car and I'm gonna pay higher interest. But when the interest rates come down, when I fix my credit in a year or two, I'm gonna refinance. 2 different people, but you must know who you are. We clear? We clear on that? Type clear if y'all clear on that. Okay? All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. What are the benefits, if any, of buying an electric or hybrid vehicle? You need to know that. I mean, it's different for different people. Environment, some people, depends. That's a personal thing. A lot of people think that electric cars, I remember when I worked for Mercedes, we thought hybrids were good for people who drove a lot. So I was uneducated on hybrids. It's actually good for people who drive in the city, because every time you hit the brake, it would regenerate the battery. So that might just be Mercedes hybrids. That might be all hybrids. I don't know. But your reason for buying a hybrid or an electric car should be your reason based on your research. And so plenty of people, most people are not buying electric cars. Some people are. Some people buy hybrids. Frina was looking at a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and she was looking at a Jeep Grand Cherokee gas version. And I remember she hit me and she said, Deshone, the dealer that made me the best offer on this Jeep Grand Cherokee gas, it was like a 1.2% lease. And she said, he's saying, and that was the lowest bid out of all the bids she got, 1.2% lease. And she said, but he's saying he might have he's saying he could do a better deal on this other one, which is a hybrid. And she said, what do you think? Because she's in a private group. Everybody who wants to know about, my private group, you want to attend my free masterclass, it's in the comment section. You can attend my free masterclass. It's an hour long. It's called Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. And it's in my TikTok or Instagram bio. You can go and you can attend the masterclass if you want to find out more about my private group and my coaching program. But she said, so do you think I should just like have him like rework the deal? I said, look, if you're going to switch cars, pay attention, y'all, this is very important. Even though he won the bid on the gas version, you want to make sure you rerun the bids on that car. She said, okay, because she said, based on what he's telling me, he could get me to like 1% on the gas, on the hybrid one. I said, okay, run the bids. She hit me 24 hours later. She said, you're not going to believe this. Lowest offer I got on the hybrid version is 0.88. Showing the deal right now. That was $579 a month. $66,000 truck. $579 a month. No money out of pocket. So if you don't rework the deal, what question was I answering that I got on that? What question was I just answering? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thanks, Dolan. My man Dolan coming through for me. So she didn't have a preference necessarily of hybrid. That opportunity presented itself. All hybrids don't have incredible programs. So I think you make the decision, Natalie, on what you want, and then you shop the offers on that car. That's it. It's so many cars out here, y'all. It's hundreds of cars to choose from. Pick the one that you like, get the offers on them. And spend your time shopping. If you're getting a new car or a lease, you should be out test driving. This is the fun part. Eventually getting bids, that'll be fun for y'all because you'll be in control. But, for your first time, you're still going to be a little nervous. But the fun part is really getting in the car and going and test driving. All right. And going to another dealer, test driving. You're about to make a $40,000, $50,000 decision. Some of you more, some of you $80,000. You're buying luxury cars, $100,000 decision. Take a day and go and drive these products that they're spending millions of dollars on, hoping you would at least come test drive. I've had people that's like, oh, I want the Honda Pilot. Oh no, the girl said, I want the new Honda CR-V hybrid. I like the look. I said, did you drive it? Nah, but that's what I got my eye on. I said, go drive it. Once she went and drove, that's why we have a whole step in our process for this called shopping, not buying. She went and drove it. She said, yo, you know what's crazy? I like the look, but I ain't like the way it drove. I said, that's why it's important. Imagine if you would have did your whole deal online, got the thing delivered. Now in 3 months, you're sitting here like, you know what? I don't really like this. So don't discount your shopping experience, especially because using it our way, you only did 20 minutes. Don't talk numbers. Keep that rule in mind. That's in my book. Those of you who have my book know this. We don't talk numbers. Those of you who are like, what book are you talking about, Deshone? My new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. That's where I'm teaching out of. Everything on this show is what I'm teaching out of that book. And you can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. You'll get it for $24 in my TikTok bio, as long as you get there before the 30 minutes expires. Also in my Instagram bio, click that website, and then on Facebook and YouTube in the comment section. And if you happen to be watching us on TV, you can scan this QR code right here with your mobile phone and get yours for 75% off. All right. And now you have everything I teach in one blueprint in one spot. Okay. Renico from YouTube. 1 year into my Kia Soul lease, this was not the car I wanted. I want to trade the Soul in for a 2022 Kia Sorento. Is it possible, or should I wait for another year to lease the Sorento? Listen, great question. Perfect example of what I just said of why we don't discount the shopping process from now on. So you can't break a contract. The only way you can get out of the lease is if you can sell it. So you do the equity assessment. Now follow this. You're going to call your bank, call your leasing company. You're going to get the payoff. And then you're going to ask, do I have a third-party restriction? Those are the two questions. Payoff, do I have a third-party restriction? Then go on the 6 sites, get your bids. Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, CarMax, AutoNation, Sell My Car, Car Guru, Sell My Car, Driveway. Every time you see, is your car lease, finance, or owned, you want to put owned, because you want the straight value. When you put lease, it triggers something on their website. So just always put owned so you can see the values. If you have a third-party restriction, you're going to have to sell to a Kia dealership. If you don't have a third-party restriction, you can sell to the highest bidder, provided you have equity. So if you see that, your payoff is 18 and the offers are 20, then you can get out. If you see that it's 18 and the offers are 18, that's going to be tough. So you got to see what your equity position is. That's the main thing. And what I do is you just wait and you just look. If you go into a dealer, they can put you in a new car. So if there's no doubt, like you can literally go in, they'll just stretch you out into a long loan on the Kia Sorento. You're going from a lease to buy. So I assume you're going to be keeping the Kia Sorento for at least 8 years. If not, you should be leasing, not buying. But I'm just going to assume you're not going to break the 8-year rule. If you don't know about it, we talk about it all the time on this stream. People who are not keeping their cars 8 years, you are overpaying by thousands of dollars by not getting great lease deals. It's not even close. Thousands of dollars, not hundreds. So I'm assuming you're going to buy and keep. But what you're going to do, anybody can transfer you. Take all that negative money, throw it into the new car. Now you're paying for the old car and the new car. You got the new car, but so if you got a 5-year, 6-year loan, literally you're driving that new Kia Sorento, that 2022, and that is in the actual, it's with you. I'm glad, Renico. It's a great name. So you're in when you roll that over because of impatience, that 6-year loan that you're putting on the new car, the old car is with you the whole time. So until the day you make your last payment on the new car, you're paying for the old car that you got out of. That doesn't make sense unless it's just a desperate scenario. So I would do what you said. Wait. If it doesn't make sense, do the equity assessment. If it doesn't make financial sense to get out, wait, coast in it. It's a brand new car. Listen, be ashamed if you had to drive around in a brand new car for the next couple of years. So just, but use it as a learning lesson to make sure next time you shop the way, you shop in a way that protects you from having to go through this again, because this is not what it should be. Okay. And it's not meant for you to replace a car this fast. It's expensive to do. There's penalties in doing this because the depreciation of a car is just too deep. It's just you lose 20% the first year. Doesn't matter whether you leased it, bought it, does not matter. So when you go and try to replace it, you're dealing with deep depreciation of what you got. And now you're like, oh, well, I'm tired of it. See, people who never do this are cash buyers. If you pay cash for cars, those are the only people that clearly understand this. If you are in pain, I have to work to help you understand this if you don't pay cash for cars. Because if you pay cash for a $30,000 car and then you said, you know what, I'm tired of it. Nah, this wasn't the car I wanted. And you brought it back to the dealer and they said, okay, well, look, I know you only had the car 3 months, but we could only give you 25 for it. You're like, wait, I only had it 3. Yeah, it's a used car. It's been titled. You're not going to take that deal, right? No one's going to pay 30 grand, turn around and take 25 in 3 months. So, but what when you are getting payments and loans, it doesn't change. It's still, you pay 30, they're giving you 25, but they're financing it. So that loss of the 5 grand, it's hidden in the monthly payment. That's why it's all about, what do you want your payment to be? What do you want your payment to be? What do you want your payment to be? Because once you see that you're losing a ton of money in a short period of time, you wouldn't do this. So it's hard for people with payments to understand. That's why I have to make it clear for you. The depreciation doesn't lie. The unseen expense doesn't lie. So we don't want to replace cars in a year or 2 years. It's just not made for that. All right. But run the equity assessment, Renico, and see if that works out and see if by chance you could break even and get out early. Okay. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one up. Okay, Precision Sound Works. A great part about following the book is when you're car shopping, you know what you're not going to get sucked into a sales number presentation. Amen. Just drive and say, I'll hit you up when I'm ready. Amen. I'm glad, and I'm so glad to hear you saying this, Precision Works, because I'm trying to teach people, all I can teach people is our world is different. And the world that they're in is painful. It's painful. But when you understand that you can be in control, when you stop talking numbers in the dealership, when you have the right online strategies, you're going to the website, you're getting bids, you know how to look at used cars, you're narrowing these things down the way I'm teaching you. Listen, there's not much that's in my book that I haven't talked about on these streams. There's not much that's in my book that I haven't talked about in my videos. The difference is it's step by step. So when you hear somebody who asks me about a used car, and then somebody asks me about a lease, and then somebody asks me about paying cash, and then someone asks me about, hey, how do I get the best loan? This is all different types of people. So you might be like, oh, this question is not for me. That question is not for me. So you have to piece it together. And if you can, God bless you. We're not holding back. But for those who are like Deshone, I just want the step by step, no interruptions in the process, no confusion. That's my book. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, Precision Work. Make sure you send me your deal so I can bring it onto the show whenever you get a car. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Okay, Marisol, YouTube. I'm looking to buy a 2025 model car. Am I able to negotiate the MSRP price? If so, how low should I start? 5% off. So you're new to the 80-20 philosophy. 80% of dealers are overpriced. So I'm saying this based on the fact that, you know, I have 1,600 people I've worked with in my coaching program, in my video course, and then I have probably 5,000-6,000 people that have gotten my book. So I have people from all around the country since 2021 sending me the deals they get, reporting me the deals, offers. So whenever you see, look, somebody like Greg, he said, offers the range. Hold on, no, it was Charles. Whenever we see the range 1.2 to 1.66, I always tell people, if you don't see a $3,000 to $5,000 difference between your offers, you didn't do it right. Because when we get at least 5 offers because 4 are overpriced. So which means, and you don't know how bad they're overpriced. They could be $100 a month overpriced. They could be thousands if they could be $3,000 overpriced, $5,000 overpriced. If you have some of these vehicles where they're marking them up $5 grand, 10 grand over sticker, they could be 7, 10 grand overpriced. You don't know. You just know. We know 4 out of 5 are overpriced. That's the numbers. So if you are by chance going in and thinking, I'm going to negotiate based on any made up number in my head, you're going to lose because you just don't know what the bottom is. You don't know what the bottom is. Feeling for the bottom is a bad way to go because you're never content. You always question, was that really the bottom? You think we could have did better? And you have no price assurance, which means if I said, listen, Marisol, you just got your vehicle, bet me $500 that I can't find a better price vehicle in 48 hours. You wouldn't take the bet. No price assurance. So what I want you to do is just scrap that whole strategy. And I want you to focus on driving the car, make sure you like it. Once you decide you like it, we're going to get 5 offers. You could do this your way by calling. You want to talk to sales managers, ask them, hey, I need 5 offers because 4 are going to be overpriced. That's just it. 80% of dealers are overpriced. 80% of dealers sell for all the money they possibly can. 80% of dealers don't want to compete with their competition. 80% of dealers are not going to go below a certain price. That's them. 20% is who we focus on. The 20% of dealers that want to compete, 20% of dealers that beat all their competition, 20% of dealers that save us all the money. And there is no way for me to tell you what that number is going to be because it's vehicle specific. When you get bids, look at Look at Sean. I use Sean for an example. Sean got a $20,000 discount on his F-150 Lightning. That was his best deal. Over 20, look, $73,000. And you see, he revealed, he didn't know it was a $15,500 rebate, but the dealer, the 20% dealer that made him this offer, told him that. He didn't see that from all dealers he got offers from. Every dealer is not going to tell you all the rebates or if there's a rebate. He got another $4,900 from the winning dealer, and that was the deal. Kimberly saves $20,000 from her Maserati. Look, $86,000. The selling price was $66,261. That's 20 grand. Now, in the case of Eddie got a new Toyota Camry hybrid. He got bids, all the bells and whistles. He said, I was able to get everything I wanted plus more, $2,086.83 under MSRP. That was his best bid from reaching out to multiple Toyota dealers. $2,086 under MSRP. It depends. It changes. You don't know. And you can't take one big discount and say, Sean's not going to say, well, because I saved 20 grand on my F-150, when I go to shop for my Mazda CX-5, I'm expecting 20 grand. No, I'm going to shop the market, get bids, and I'll reveal what is the below market offer for a Mazda CX-5. In the case of his Ford, the below market offer was 20 grand off. In the case of Kimberly's Maserati, the below market deal was 20 grand off. But if we went in thinking these numbers are making up and saying, you know what, I'm going to try to get 5% under MSRP, we're losing. So scrap that whole strategy. Use mine. Or you could try to do it your way. Either way, 5 offers. Without 5 offers, you're not saving all the money and you will have no price assurance. 5 offers. In my book, I teach something called the 25-to-5 strategy. That's what I created. We're connecting with 25 dealers online. Those of you who have the book know it takes us about 20 minutes because we go direct to the websites. We don't go to third-party sites where they're selling our information to the dealer. We go right to the dealer's websites. I got a link in there that links you to all the dealers by zip code. So you put in your zip code and we go to each website. We copy and paste. I have a template we use. It says, hey, my name is such and such. I'm in the market for this car. These are all the options I'm looking for. This is my as soon as date I can make a deal. This is my no later than date. We give them all the information we need. Here's what I'm looking for, my option. Now we're sending that to all of these dealers. And then the goal out of 25 is to see who has a car. And then once we find out of 25 who has a car, well, we might see 10 dealers have a car that I'm interested in. That's another reason why it benefits to shop the numbers. Because when you only shop in 2 dealers, like the statistics say you do, the statistics show that you guys shop 2 dealers. That's what the statistics show, 2 dealers. And as car salespeople, we know that. So when you're shopping 2 dealers, whatever they have on their lots or have coming in, that's all that's interesting. That's all we can shop from. That's why it's like, oh, I don't have that color. Oh, I don't have one with those options. We're shopping from 25 dealers. We got a good shot of 8 to 10 having something we're interested in. And then we have other copy and paste scripts to request our quotes, give them everything they need to give us a quote. And then we have scripts to keep the conversation moving when they try to get us on the phone, which they will, 80% will, which, hey, try to get us to come in, 80% will. Hey, hey, listen, we could only give you a quote if you're here in the showroom. Okay, well, I'm talking to a couple of dealers. No one else has said that. Should I remove you from my list? All our emails end with a question. Whenever you're emailing a dealer, should always end with a question, not a statement, because the question pushes the ball back to them. So that's what we're doing, 25-to-5. Our goal when connecting with 25 dealers is to get 5 offers. And out of those 5, 1 offer is going to beat everybody else, and that's who we do business with. That entire process takes us 60 to 90 minutes. 60 to 90 minutes. It's beautiful. So if you're like, Deshone, I want to use your process, you can do it your way. You want to call around? I'm just telling you, get 5 offers. You could do it my way. In my book, 75% off in my TikTok bio or in my Instagram bio. Click that link and get your copy for 75% off, or in the comment section on YouTube and Facebook if you just came on the show. But that's the 25 to 5. And you won't have price assurance and you won't save all the money until you start to get 5 offers. Everything is a bid. All right. That's what I'm telling. My favorite words: bids, multiple offers, multiple options, price assurance. These are my favorite words. When you start using this stuff, they're going to be your favorite words too. I guarantee it. Go ahead, Dolan. Do you always have to have a down payment when purchasing a car? No, never. Never. Now, down payments are not illegal. That was one of the worst videos to go viral. But when a video goes viral, you can't combat it. So, if people looked into that law, they would see this law has nothing to do with down payments. So down payments are not illegal, but you can every single thing we shop for is no down payment. When we're shopping for leases, we request all our lease quotes, first month's payment total out of pocket. We don't, you guys, some of you know who's been on the stream, I don't even like you using the words down payment. We use total out of pocket, total due at signing, not down payment. But we're doing first month's payment due at signing, 12,000 miles per year, all taxes and fees rolled into the payment. That's how we request our lease quotes. Now, we have high mileage drivers who do high mileage leases, 20, 25, 30,000 miles a year, but you always adjust it after you found the best dealer. Once you found the dealer who wins the bid, that's when you're now going to go in and adjust the mileage for your custom strategy, for your custom needs. Okay. All right. Listen, I appreciate it. Please readjust the quote to 18,000 miles per year, and then we'll take it across. That's when you're going to say, all right, you know what? I'm already under 1.5. I'm under 1.3, whatever it is. As long as you're under 1.5, you got a deal. As long as it's the best bid. Because some people say, oh, I went in, and I cannot stand this. But it's unfortunate that people think they're using what I teach, but they're not. They'll go in and say, Deshone, yeah, I was talking to the car salesman. I told him, you got to get me under 1.5. I said, what are you doing? I didn't say it. I don't even think I responded to it because I don't want people to feel like they failed. But that's not what I teach. I'm never targeting 1.5. I'm targeting 5 offers, and the only way 1.5 gets approved is if it's the lowest out of the 5, which means I know the lease program isn't great. But if I see 1.45 and then there's another lease quote for 1.6, 1.8, 1.9, now I know this 1.5 is the deal. And the dealers often will tell you, listen, I'm giving you a big discount, but the lease program's not that good. That's what's making it 1.5. So I don't have a problem with that, but I'm never going in targeting 1.5 because if I target 1.5 and other people would have came in and offered me 1.3, 1.2, but I'm not getting bids and I'm leaving thinking I won. No, I lost. So that's how we shop for our lease quotes. No money out of pocket. When we shop for our purchases, we're separating our loan, which is our monthly payments and our terms, from the car. So this is going to be easy for you once you really see that your loan is separate from the car. You are looking, if you're buying a used car, you're looking for the best price used car in the market, 100 miles, 150 miles. You're narrowing it down. Once you find a dealer who has that car, you've already won on the price of the asset. Check. Now we're going to handle the loan. And if you say, hey, I'm going to do this loan for this amount. Now I have a tool that, listen, some stuff is hard to explain because I actually created something called the perfect budget calculator. Let me show you. So this is the perfect budget calculator. Just so y'all listen, I'm gonna share this with y'all. This is in my book. And just so you know, the only reason that I can't explain this stuff, because how can I explain technology that I created? So this is the perfect budget calculator. This is what it does. This is how we're able to shop with no money down. We enter the equity that we may have from our old vehicle. Let's say we're selling our old vehicle. All right. Or let's say we don't have an old vehicle. Put 0 there. Now we enter max down payment. Now this is a comfortable amount. This might be like, because this is how it usually happens. You know what? I could put 3 grand down if I had to. I don't want to, but if I had to, I put 3 grand down. Okay, that's what goes there. Okay, then we use the average interest rate in the market. For the sakes of this purpose, let's use 7.99. Interest rates are high right now. Then we enter comfortable monthly payment. Comfortable monthly payment, $450 a month. Now we enter our state so we can calculate the taxes and calculate budget goals. And it asks, okay, what's your comfortable monthly payment for 60 months? Let's say we do the same thing. All right. And then it gives you goals, gives you 6 goals. This is your max vehicle purchase price right here. See, there's never been anything like this. This is why you go in saying, I don't want to spend more than 450. You end up spending 600. This is why you go in saying, you know what, I'm going to spend 30 grand on a car. You end up spending 32, 33 because you forgot about the taxes and the fees. We never shop with our max in mind. So this becomes our first goal. Our first goal gets us to our car, no equity, no down payment. Our second goal gets us to with a 5-year loan. Now, our second goal gets us to, if we get a car in this price, we can do a 6-year loan, no equity, no down payment. So this is where you need to be right here if you want to do no down payment. This is where you want to be. So you need to know, based on where you want to be payment-wise, and whether you're taking a 5 or 6-year loan, how much car can I afford? That includes the taxes and the fees. So there was no way for me to explain this to you. In fact, I used to have a 20-minute video that I walked people through, and it was a perfect budget exercise. We did all that manually. Everything that I built the calculator to do manually, you guys got to see it on the replay. Because if you're on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, TikTok doesn't let us pull this streaming software in. So you guys got to see it on the replay. You could go watch the YouTube videos right after the show is done, and you can see how I just showed you this. Or if you get my book, you can actually use the perfect budget calculator in 5 minutes. So what that allows you to do is go in knowing where your starting point is, knowing where your max vehicle purchase price is. That's how people go over budget all the time. Going in, all you have in mind is math. Oh, I don't want to be no more than $450 a month. $450 a month. That's all you're thinking about. Or if the bank tells you, okay, you're pre-approved for $30,000. What does that actually mean? Okay, great. I'm pre-approved for $30,000. What does that mean? 5-year loan, 6-year loan? What about my payment? My payment, I don't want it to be more than this. Plus, I got $2,000 I could put down. How does that factor in? So when you get to the max monthly payment, when you get to goal 6, using the perfect budget calculator, you are using a 6-year loan, your max loan, and your down payment, but you're still under budget. So anything below that, you gotta there's no easy way for me to explain it to you. That's why I had to create a software that actually does it for you. But you need to know, in order to get a car with no down payment that you're purchasing, not leasing, because I gave you how we shop for them with leases, but that I'm purchasing, I need to know how much car can I afford based on the taxes and fees that I'm going to pay for a car, taxes for my state. Figure we estimate $1,000 for a documentation fee in motor vehicles. That has to be factored in. And then a 5 or 6-year loan, all of this stuff. So, yeah. So we got a lot of calculators. Because it was just a lot of stuff that I'm a math person. And so I can explain stuff to a math person. I can try to make things simple, and I try my best to make these numbers simple. But the best thing that I was able to do was create calculators that would do this stuff that I don't have to explain to people the numbers anymore. And my goal is to put lots of calculators out eventually that do pretty much everything. Like people who are over mileage on their lease. You got to see, should I end the lease early and take the mileage penalty now, or take the payment penalty? Should I go to distance? And there's so many financial calculations in cars that thank God I've been blessed to understand that I can't explain to you. So I had to build a software that you punch your situation in, and then it tells you everything. Okay. But yeah, you can absolutely get cars with no money down. It's not even, only people that can't are super, credit's too bad, or you have too much negative equity. And even if your credit's bad, you still can get cars with no down payment. It's really the negative equity. The negative equity from your old car is really what prevents most people from doing no money down deals, because the bank is only going to approve 15, 20, 25% above the purchase price of the car. So if the purchase price is 30, they'll approve 36 as a loan. They'll loan 36, they'll lend 36,000 on a $30,000 car. They're not going to lend 40,000 on a $30,000 car. They're not going to lend. So if you have 10 grand of negative equity that you're trying to transfer, that's preventing the no money down deals for most people. Other than that, everybody can do no money down deals if they so choose. All right. So everything we talked about today was based out of my book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's the step-by-step process to mastering the science of car shopping. And the first time you do it, you're already a master. There's no test to take. The first step in the process is the most important question, which I'm going to help you know clearly whether you should lease or buy based on how long you keep in the car. And step 7 is delivery. So by the end of this, when time you get to step 7, I'm congratulating you, and we're like, okay, let's set up if the dealer's going to deliver the car or if we're going to go pick it up. That's delivery. So it's not this book you read and say, okay, all right, I'm ready for the quiz now. Let's take our test. No, every step is an action. Equity assessment, budget tool, choosing your car, shopping for it, doing a check to make sure it doesn't have any bad data out there like electrical issue software, and then getting offers, then paperwork, then delivery. It's a walkthrough. So you can get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or we have a comment pinned in the YouTube and Facebook section. Or if you're watching us on television, you can scan the QR code and use the strategies, everything I teach in one spot. All right. Make sure you send me your deals. We'll be back for another live show shortly. If you're watching the broadcast, if you're watching the rebroadcast, you'll see the times that we're live. For those of you who want to attend my free masterclass, Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars, that link is also in the comments, and it's also in my TikTok and Instagram bio. You'll need about an hour, and then we do Q&A for an hour after the class. So anyway you get it, make sure you get it. I don't care how you get the information. All we do is put the information out. The rest is on you, all right? I'll see y'all on the next show. God bless you.
The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers, episode 14. I am your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. We do these live streams throughout the day. We rebroadcast them, so you may have seen a rebroadcast, but today is our Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's Wednesday. I was saying, what day is it? It's Thursday. Thank you. Our live broadcast. And we do rapid fire Q&A. We are streaming on 4 platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So you guys can start taking your questions. Yeah, I see you, real Zubir. I see you. We're live right now. And whenever you guys don't see the replay banner, that means you're watching a live show. So we do replay these broadcasts all throughout the day so that, you know, if you can't watch them all, you can tell your friends, your family. But whenever you don't see the live replay banner, that means we're live. So you guys can start typing your questions, and we'll be pulling them in from all 4 platforms. So just go to DeshonesBook.com, Mr. Silver. I see you on TikTok. the people with the TikTok browser were having a problem getting the book, but some people said they were able to get it on TikTok. So just try typing deshonsbook.com into a browser, and you should be able to access it. So as you come in, start typing your questions, and we'll start getting to them. For those of you, if this is your first time ever on a live car Q&A with us, can you type the number 1? We always like to know who's the first time person, first time ever on a car shopping Q&A with us. Type the number 1. And if you have been here before, then I want you to send a, I want you to type welcome to the people who are first timers. Reginald, what's going on? I see you, Reginald, on YouTube. I see you flipped apart on Instagram. Sweet Major, I see you. Herman, I see you on Instagram. Real Zubir, I see you. Mr. Silva, welcome back. I see you on TikTok. If this is your first time with us, type a number 1. We welcome you. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. As I said, I spent 14 years in the car business from 2006 to 2020, left after the pandemic, never went back to Mercedes, and have been teaching people who are willing to listen how to save the most money, get below market deals, guarantee their best prices, their best interest rate, their best deals, car shopping online, getting bids instead of negotiating. So it is an entirely different science, but we go deep on it here. So feel free to ask your questions and we'll start getting to them one by one. Everything I'm going to be teaching out of in this stream is out of my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And we're going to put a comment for you guys in the Facebook comments and in the YouTube comments. We just like to get the housekeeping done so we could get right to the show, because once we get to the questions, we don't turn back. We don't stop until the hour is done. So we'll be here for about an hour. So we're posting a question now. Those of you who want the book on Instagram, it's in my bio. It's in my TikTok bio, and you can get yours for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97 price. So let's get to it. All right. Let's see. We have Instagram. My car is out of repo and it was bad deal from jump. What can I do? Okay, so you got your car out of a repo. All you can do to get out of a car is sell it. That's it. You could sell it. Normally you might say trade it, but we don't use the words trade here. We use the word sell it. So whenever you are, because you're not going to get the most money trading. So you want to do something we call an equity assessment. You want to find out how much you owe, call your bank. And this is the first step for everyone. If you have a car right now that you need to replace, I want you to stop thinking about trading, and I want you to start thinking about getting bids on it. Okay? No matter what you have, if you have this phone right here and you said, I'm going to trade this phone for something, are you going to get the most money for the phone? Think about that. Think about that. Yes or no? And always stay close to your keyboards because we dialogue here, okay? I ask you questions. I need you typing fast in the dialogue. If you had this phone right here and you said, I'm going to go trade this phone, that's different than you getting bids on it and seeing what's the most money somebody will pay for this phone, okay? So that's what we do when it comes to our car buying process. So you're going to call your bank, find out what you owe, and then you're going to go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Do not use KBB.com. It's a marketing site. And all it is an algorithm. It's algorithms trying to tell you what your car is worth. We're past that day. The world we live in now, we can get offers. And that's what you want. That's all that's important is offers. So Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Car Guru, Sell My Car, and Auto Nation, Sell My Car. That's 6 people who are competing to buy cars every day. And that's where you want to go. Once you go there, you'll be able to see if you have equity, means you can get out very easy. So if you owe 15, but your highest offer is 20, that's a 1-hour inspection. They'll cut you a check and you got the equity. That equity is cash money to you. You put it in your bank, you can use it as a down payment. If you have negative equity, that's a different story. You're going to need to account for that. But the first thing you must do if you are replacing a car is an equity assessment, okay? That's step 2 in my process. After we decide leasing or buying, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about leasing versus buying while we're here. So, all right, let's go. Keep the questions coming and type out your entire question. Try to get it in one shot so that we can see it all. But that's your first step, the real Zubair. Do your equity assessment. If you said you owe quite a bit, you gotta do the equity assessment and get real numbers. Let's get out of the gray area. I know I owe a lot. Oh, I got some equity. Oh, I got some negative equity. Let's get hard numbers so that we can move to the next step intelligently. Okay? Car buying is all about the numbers. Oh, it's still in repo. Then see if you can get the cash to get it out. That's it. I mean, if you can't get the cash to get it out, then what are you going to do? If you've had a car repossessed, they give you some time to come redeem it. You got to come up with the cash. If you come up with the cash, then at least you have a car and you can rebuild your credit based on having a car not repoed yet, but taken, which means you've gone 90 days, past 90 days on your payments. So, but you can build from that. If the car is done, totally repoed, then that's a different story. Now you're going to need to shop for a car with a repo on your credit, and that's going to be a different way to shop. You're going to need I have a couple different ways we do it. First step, we try to get first step would be a company like Limbuzz. They'll pre-approve people with really challenged credit, no credit, new people to the country. But you're going to want to make sure you don't go out and overspend, because the biggest problem with people with bad credit is you're overspending in the interest and the car. And what we do is we separate the interest from the car. What does that mean? Your loan is a product. Your loan, I know here's what you've typically done. You've given the car dealers 3 transactions. And that's why you can't get good deals. When you go and trade your car into a dealer, that's a transaction. You sold them your car. That's why on that buyer's order, there's a specific part for your car. They're buying your car. That's a transaction. Another part of the transaction is you bought a car from them. That's a different transaction. And then if you got your loan from them, that's a third transaction. So there's no way to get a good deal when you're giving dealers 3 transactions or 2 transactions and you haven't gotten bids for either. Break this down a little bit more before we go to the next question. There are companies that want to lend you money. They don't sell cars. That means they're willing to compete against other companies that want to lend you money. That means if this company is giving you an 8% interest rate, this one might give you a 7% interest rate, this one might give you a 6.2% interest rate. They're willing to compete. You need to bid that out. You need to bid that out. See, the only way we have price guarantees, what's going on, Trini, man? Good to see you. The only way we get price guarantees is by bidding our business out. So there's companies that only want to buy your car from you. Those are the companies I named like 5 minutes ago during our equity assessment. They don't even sell. They're not interested in selling your car. They like to, but they're also interested. Hey, we just want to buy your car. Even if we can't sell you one, we'll buy yours from you. You should be bidding that out. Type $ if you're clear on that. And then when you buy your car, you're bidding that out. So when people with bad credit usually go and don't have a strategy like the one I'm telling you, you're going to go and overpay because you're mixing the loan with the car. You're going to a dealer saying, hey, I like that car, get me approved. So you didn't even get a bid to find out, was that the lowest price car? Because some people think all dealers' prices are the same. They're actually all different. And look, only you know, but I know, I've been doing this long enough to know there are people who've been taught every Nissan dealer is the same price. That's why they'll come home and say, man, Nissan doesn't have good deals right now. No, one Nissan dealer didn't. So you have to, when you're shopping for used cars, you want to be looking at all the inventory to see who has the best price used car. Then you would use a company like LendBuzz, like I mentioned, who approves people with bad credit, no credit, new to the country, because at least you know you got a great price on the car. See, if I'm going to pay 20% interest because I just had a repo, that's between me and my lender. Do we understand? Most times when you have bad credit, it's between you, the dealership, and everyone else in the dealership. They know you have bad credit because you've been there for 10 hours. How'd you get here at 9 a.m. with me? We both walked in the door and I left at 12 and you still sitting in the waiting room hoping they get you approved. Everyone in the dealership knows you have bad credit. That's the way it is when you're mixing the credit and the car and you have bad credit. So what you need to do is be doing what I'm telling you, shopping for your car, finding the best price car, and then trying your best to find a company. You can try LendBuzz, as I said. But if you're overpaying for the car, if you're just walking into a dealership that you like, oh, I like that, and you think you're going to just have a good time getting approved, you got to understand, you could overpay by $3,000-$4,000 for the car itself, and then you're going to pay 20%, and you're just burying yourself. And that's what most people are going to do, unfortunately. That's not what I want you to do. Okay? So we'll talk more about our online shopping system, new car. I'm sure as we go through more questions on the stream, we'll go more deep into our online shopping system. But that I need to give you, if you have bad credit, challenge credit, repo, you need to have an overview of what your plan should look like, and that's what it is. Shout out to the people running the likes up on TikTok. Appreciate y'all. If you could tap the screen every couple minutes, or if you're getting value so far, tap the screen. All right, let's go to, I see you, Uncle Hassan on TikTok. Let's go to you and type your questions, y'all. We're going to try to get to as many as possible. 23 Outback Wilderness, 9,000 miles, certified pre-owned. Should I get a warranty and what would be a good price? Well, you bid out the warranty. Multiple dealers. You call another Subaru finance manager. Hey, I got this 2023 Subaru Outback. I just got it. What could you give me? Can you give me your price on the warranty? You bid that out too. Now, that's the only way to know a good price. See, any question, what would be a good price? Only bids answer that. Now, if you try to answer it your old way, you'll have no price assurance. That means you don't know it's a good price. You're just hoping. And I'm not hoping. Nobody who's learning from me, no one who I show you in these shows, if you're going to do well, you're not going to hope anymore. Hope is not a strategy. I hope I didn't overpay. I hope that was a good price. I hope I got enough for my old car. I hope I got a good interest rate. You understand? That's actually a little buyer's remorse. And we eliminate that. And the way we eliminate it is through bids. So should you get the warranty? Let's talk about that. So here's an extended warranty question. Uncle Hack from TikTok is asking, should he get the extended warranty on this vehicle? So here's what it comes down to. How expensive, how likely is it that things will go wrong with the car, and how expensive are they when they go wrong? Because an extended warranty is an insurance product. It's an insurance product, which means you could pay $2,000 and not use it. Just like auto insurance, right? We pay for it every month. Sometimes, most times, if God bless us, we don't use it. There's no accidents. There's no reason for us to use it. So with an extended warranty, you're trying to measure your risk and say, okay, what's the likelihood of me using this? And I got to use it enough to get all my money back and more. So if the warranty costs me $2,000, I don't want to just get $2,000 in value back, because if that's the case, I could have just, not paid for the warranty. So does the car have a high repair cost? You want to go to Google and type in Subaru Outback, the vehicle you got, repair costs. This is something that we do when we're considering extended warranties. This is step 6 of my process. Sounds like you already got your car. You've already locked up your deal. So this will fall under the paperwork and protection phase. My book is 7 steps. Step 6 is paperwork and protection right before delivery. These are the things we're trying to see. Do they make sense for us to get based on our situation? So with the car, if you see that Subaru you're getting has a high likelihood of repairs and a high expensive repair cost, then you may want to go ahead and get the extended warranty. Now, if you see that the repair cost on that is low, and you could just, again, type in repair. And also, I hope you try to type in longevity. But longevity is something that's above and beyond repair costs, because longevity is when we're looking 100,000 miles, 150,000 miles. What are people saying about these cars? So the repair costs are more over the next 3, 4, 5 years. What is it going to look like? So if you see that this vehicle has higher than normal repair costs, then you may want to go ahead and get the warranty. But if not, then you may want to just keep that $2,000 or whatever you would spend. Whatever you would spend. So, that's all about a Mercedes. When people were buying Mercedes from me, I told them buy as much warranty as you could afford, because I knew it's good money. If you spend $4,000 on a Mercedes warranty and it covers you for 3, 4 years, good money spent. Because when something breaks on a Mercedes, on a Range Rover, on a BMW, on a Cadillac, sometimes it's thousands to fix. So one repair on that vehicle could cover the cost of the warranty. But there are other vehicles on the other side of the spectrum, Honda, Toyota, Lexus. There are plenty of vehicles on the other side. Mazda does well. So you want to see where your vehicle is, where your specific vehicle is, and that's how we're assessing our risk. Everything we're doing with an extended warranty is a risk assessment. There's no